Do you ever have those moments where you're like, man, I'm glad that God didn't allow for a situation that I wanted to work out? Like I'm sitting here and I just had that thought, like, man, I'm glad that what I wanted 5, 6, 7 years ago didn't work out for me because I don't know where I would be. So short story time. So I was married to a man whose father was a master tailor, and we moved to a small town for him to take over the business because his father became really ill. Um, after when we moved here, one of their clients had a small home, a little 4 bedroom, 1 bathroom flat house, 2 car garage that they gave us for like $700 and something dollars. Mind you, this is over 10 years ago. And we took the home. Oh man, hold on. Okay, sorry, the lights went out. The motion light went out. And so we moved into this home. So let's say a year later, me and that person got divorced. But when we first moved here, he said, after I take over the business, I'm going to buy you this really big house. And, we had the kids. And so we just kind of had this life planned out. So, like I said, needless to say, a year later after moving here, we ended up being divorced. And I had a really, really hard time. And I was taking care of 3 kids by myself, home. I'm in a place where I had no family at the time, just him and his family. And so my sister ended up moving here with me for a couple of years and they bought a home. And then my mom ended up retiring here and they bought a home. And then I ended up losing that job that I had, making really, really good money. It seemed like I lost that job as soon as I got all of my bills caught up, everything that I needed to do to be stable on my own, not having a two income household anymore. And so I had just made my first 90 plus something a year at this job. And I'm like, okay, now I can buy me and my kids a home. I ended up losing that job maybe 3 or 4 months after I started to look. Fast forward to now, 4 or 5 years later, after um, that situation happened, and all of the things in the world it's going on. And I had to be like, man, I thank God for that plan not working out for me. At the time, I was so brokenhearted, y'all. I cried every single day. I mean, I even cried to my mom, like, you guys got to move here. You guys got to buy y'all houses. And I've never owned a home before. I've never, I had never been in a position. That wasn't my thing. I hadn't been in a home, to do that before. My boys are grown now, 25, 22. My daughter's 17. She's in her senior year. She's getting ready to graduate. And I'm looking over my life. And in the time of me losing that job until now, I was able to step out and be an entrepreneur. I have a business that's going great. And it's allowed me to slow motion this journey. It has allowed me to take the time that I needed to work the business, not owning a home, because I would have lost it. I would have lost it. I wouldn't have been able to afford it. It has allowed me to, it's taught me about overhead and how many things I had in my life that were unnecessary or things that I didn't need um, in my life. And so I look at my situation now, and I've been in this home for over 10 years. Mind you, my my house payment is under $1,000 with all of this land, with room for everybody, and me being able to afford it and being able to be a business owner, entrepreneur, because I'm still working on my business. But I had to stop and think and be like, man, I'm so grateful that the Lord didn't allow for that to go the way that I had wanted it to go, that I'm exactly where I am right now. And sometimes I just have to really thank God that I had the renewed mindset and that my perspective on life and things are different. Because had my perspective not been different, or what I'm saying, like, we be so quick to put ourselves in binds, and because we just want something so bad, or we feel like we deserve it, and we feel like we got shorted. You know what I'm saying? And so I sit out here in my hammock in my yard, And I'm laying here and it's not a new home or anything like that. I live out in like rural community, like kind of sort of out in the country. But then I had to say, Carletta, you've had your own home for over 10 years. No, it may not have been the house that you would have, your dream home or anything like that, but you had your own home the whole time. And it was something that you could afford. So I just wanted to share that because I think sometimes we can get in our heads about things that we think that we need and things that we want so bad, and God really be working things out for our good. We don't even know what the future is going to look like or what's going to happen. And now that I sit right here, I'm like, man, I'm staying in this house as long as I can. Even with me having a business and all of that, like my daughter's getting ready to graduate, like it's enough for me. It allows me to come and go as I please. At the end of the day, my overhead is so small. Listen, if I had to hustle real quick, I could take care of it. I don't feel overwhelmed in having it. Like, I thank God that I don't have the worries of the world like a lot of people do, and I'm really thankful for that. But I'm just like, man, Lord, like, man, I had to be grateful. So I was just sharing. I just was sharing. And I hope that helped. I hope my little story helped somebody. Yeah.